Solid alibis. Jane and me had been having a late meal when she spilled something. We had to clean it up. It took us a wee bit to clean the spot. I cut myself while doing it. I left briefly for some reason. Can't recall why. But I was only gone for a few minutes. Just enough to see those two enter the back. When I got back, my daughter was still happily cleaning her mess. And that's all I've got to say. Jane told just the same to the police. The prosecution will confirm this. Both stories matched up well. At least in any matter related to the murder.
What's this about an injury? Where did you get hurt?
Cut me hand. It was just a wee accident. No need to worry. It weren't too bad. Yesterday you said a glass bottle of grape juice shattered, and that's how it happened. Phoenix, Wright, what are you talking about? We all know what was in that bottle. Exactly, grape juice. Heh, heh. The contents don't matter much. Yes, the bottle broke and I kept myself helping clean it.
I would imagine you threw out the actual bottle quite some time ago.
Of course. That's what you do with broken glass, isn't it? That'd be mighty dangerous leaving it out. A month's a long time for evidence to disappear. It's just Mr. Hood's word to go on. But if they're conspiring, of course he said the same as his daughter. Jane's told the same story. If they match up, it'll be hard to fight. Disappearing evidence. Is that what happened? There certainly isn't much to go on. Juice bottles aren't known for breaking easily. They're sturdier than you'd think, probably for this very reason. She would have had to put a bit of force into it. You say it was intentional? Well, I don't know what to tell you. It happened. An accident? Or Jane getting ready for an Old West style brawl? In the context of this case, it might not matter. They have an alibi either way. And likewise for Ms. Porter. Well, better move on for now. How bad was it? I thought I couldn't treat myself. Didn't need no stitches or the like, but it was a pretty nasty cut, eh? Did you go to a hospital? Nah, not too fond of those places. Besides, there weren't no need to. I patched myself up just fine. Not the best work, but I got the job done. There wouldn't be a hospital report or any paper trail for the wound. But if it really wasn't that bad, there would be no need for it. You just forgot? It were last month. Do you remember every last detail from that long ago? Seeing two people at a murder scene seems important enough to remember. And it was? But it right how it overshadowed what came before. Everything before I left me home is a blank. Nothing matters compared to a murder. You at least remembered cutting yourself. Aye, because it was bloomin' painful. This isn't getting anything useful out of him. Better continue on. You had to walk a kilometer and back. That only took a few minutes? The way home I weren't just walking, let me tell ya. All in all, I was only outside for 15-20 minutes. That doesn't give me enough time to kill a chap, clean the mess, and bury him. And Jane was in the house when I left, and there when I got back. Just ask her. And before you say anything more, I deny that I was out looking for her. Think I'd remember something like that, I would. You would have shown some evidence already if it were true. Wouldn't ya, Phoenix Wright? We don't know nearly enough about how Virgil Black died. Nor do we have the evidence to prove anything. Any evidence at all. You just left her at home all alone? Maybe it weren't the smartest choice, but she's a grown lass. She can handle herself. I live alone, so I don't normally need to worry about her. Besides, I'm sure you've done a few things you shouldn't have as well. A few doesn't even begin to cover it. Thank you for that, Francisco. You have no way of knowing what Jane was up to the whole time you were gone. I suppose not, but she's a teenage girl. She can take care of herself for half an hour. Anyhow, she'd have to be mighty fast and sneaky to get to the murder scene ahead of me. That's what really matters, don't it? Funny, I recall this being a trial for a murder, not poor painting. It wouldn't have to be fast at all if she was already out there. But is there any way to prove that? Yeah. And once again, I can't find anything. Hey, there's the face of a man who knows he's beaten.
If the defense has no further questions, I will have to assume they cannot disprove the alibi. Mr. Hood and his daughter were not apart long enough for there to be any doubt as to their innocence. Further inquiry must be made into Gladys Porter.
How absurd! The defendant was the only suspect until this man took the stand.
He is your witness. Did you not know what he might say?
He's unpredictable. He must be removed immediately.
Denied. We've yet to find anything contradicting his argument. If somebody other than the defendant is guilty, then so be it. There is nothing more to discuss.
Miss Porter's not gonna like this. If I'm right, and these alibis are a sham, something must be off. We need some solid evidence to break through them. But the only thing which might clear that up would be... It's a long shot. Mr. Hood, would you mind showing the court where you hurt yourself? It would be my pleasure, lad. There you are. Take a look at it. The witness wasn't lying about that. We checked. There's clearly a cut on Aaron's hand, likely from broken glass. He really did get hurt. But that proves his story. Aye, and that cements our innocence. You must give up on it.
Oh, ho, ho! Now I see why you all love to shout like that. Ahem. I'm sorry. But I did have a question. I hope none of you mind. Witness, didn't you say you were hurt over a month ago? Why is your hand still wrapped up?
Your Honor? That's... actually a really good question.
Oh, you thought so? Thank you.
Witness, why do you still have it bandaged?
That's an excellent point.
I think I might have an idea why his hand is still bandaged. It was a nice try, Mr. Hood, but this was one lie you couldn't keep hidden. The witness himself told us the cut wasn't serious. Only a hospital-worthy injury would still be visible or in need of bandages. Mr. Hood, do you think you were being sneaky when you concocted your little tale? Concocted? Tale? Surely you're not suggesting I'd do anything devious. You might if it was to give your daughter an alibi. I have no doubt you really did cut yourself on some broken glass. But it wasn't the night Virgil Black was murdered.
Objection.
A perjurer, is it? Is that what you're saying I am? Unfortunately, Finnegan Hood, a man with your record cannot claim to be honest.
Record? What record? Ms. Von Karma, what are you saying?
The witness used to be an attorney, but he is no longer because he was disbarred for evidence forgery. He has a history of lying in court, and now he's doing it again. You discredit your own witness? You're doing that yourself. I'd known this whole time the cut on your hand couldn't be more than a few days old. I kept silent about it to see what you would try to do. You disappointed me.
Well, if it wasn't a month ago, when did it happen?
The prosecution says just a few days ago. Mr. Hood's told us a lot about a month back, so we know he was plenty busy. But looking back on it, isn't that strange? Why have we heard hardly anything from him about this event? Crap, I have no idea what I'm supposed to present here. Shovel. Profiles, maybe? Because then I could present the victims. Mr. Hood, you're lying. Ah, am I? Yes. Am I? Oops. Okay, not that one. Profile of... Not that one. Well, he was actually talking about that one, so... Let's see. Kelly the killer. Presented both victims. Okay, not that. Ah, okay. When you cut yourself, what did you need to do?
Well, I'd suppose you'd need to wash it, sterilize it so it didn't get infected, and, of course, wrap it up well.
And then you'd need to clean up whatever caused it. In this case, it was a broken bottle full of messy liquid. It must have gone everywhere. And yet, when I went to his home, I didn't see anything. It must have taken quite a while getting those stains out. Maybe an entire night? Aye, seems about right. You do have an alibi, I can't deny that. But it's for the wrong murder! But blasted! You cut yourself the night of the Rosencrantz murder. With several suspicious people fighting and running all around, you should have noticed. But of course, you wouldn't if you had spent the entire time cleaning and fixing your hand.
Why on earth would he lie about an alibi that he already had?
He needed an alibi for Guildenstern, not Rosencrantz. He saw Jane a month back when Mr. Black was killed. They needed alibis for then, not later.
That makes sense. His daughter backed up his story, didn't she? That means she lied to the police too.
If she wasn't with the witness, she could have been anywhere. She had to agree with whatever he came up with to stay safe. But now, neither he nor Jane can be accounted for during the Black murder.
Objection.
Strictly speaking, you're still to prove anything. I'll admit me alibis for Guildenstern's looking a bit tad weak. As long as I've got an airtight story for one murder, all's well. What do you have to say about your whereabouts for the Guildenstern case now? Precisely the same as before, minus getting cut. I left the house for just a few minutes and then came right back. You might even say it works better for me this way. Don't know why I didn't think of it before. The same culprit killed both victims. Is that it? Well, as you two have shown, Jane and me have got some great alibis for Mr. Rosencrantz. And until you prove me wrong, for Mr. Guildenstern too. I did just prove that. Why did he lie about something so simple even the judge saw it? Now he might be arrested for perjury. Why would he make such an easily spotted mistake? Could it be just a slip-up? I don't think so. Mr. Hood's been extremely clever up until now. If it was just a slip-up, then why is he smiling? Bad feeling. I've got a really bad feeling. Me too. He meant for us to call out his lie. But why make himself and Jane look guilty? Don't you see? He didn't. I just proved they have an alibi. And like he said, I didn't even discredit his actual story. In fact, I strengthened it. Because Francisca and I proved it together, nobody's ever going to question any of it. In the jury's eyes, neither could possibly be the killer. Bad feeling just got worse. Do you think he's covering up? Do I? Why else would he be pressing like this? A perjury sentence seems much better than one for murder. If that's the case, it would be completely rational to throw himself under the bus. With as little evidence as I have, I could never accuse either of them. Nobody else realizes it, but he still is running this trial.
The witness has admitted to perjury. Will the prosecution wish to amend their stance?
Why should we? He says he saw two people. One may or may not have been the suspect. And there's still the matter of Rosencrantz.
Aye, the Porter woman was there too.
She was not the killer. We've already accused that man.
Nobody's getting convicted until we have some answers. Witness, how can you accuse her of killing Rosencrantz? Where were you to see it? Oi, thought I was cutting your hand, you said. Exactly. If the bottle incident happened then, and you stayed in your house, you wouldn't have had a clue what was going on outside. I know she was there. I know she connected to Hunt. I know she's connected somehow. I know she's a liar. The argument's the one at both crimes must be the killer. That is either her or your client.
Witness, I have a proposal to make.
Aye?
The prosecution will hold off on indicting you for perjury, but only if you can clear this up for us. You will testify thoroughly on any theories you have on Gladys Porter. Once the defense has disproven everything, the court will have no choice. We'll be back down to only a single suspect.
And if he doesn't prove me wrong?
Oh, he will. But if he doesn't...
You've got a deal, ma'am. Why don't we quit all the beating around the bush then? I know you can't disprove me seeing her in black. So it's time for something different. Let's go on with Mr. Rosencrantz. Gladys Porter's your killer. No matter what you think, I know enough to see that. Aye, Gladys Porter killed this Rosencrantz fellow. Why else would she lie in court? To save herself. She killed the lad. The same person must be responsible for both deaths. Either her or your client. It's one of the two.
This will do nicely. The defense wants Gladys Porter cleared just as much as I do. Once he's done that, we will be back to a single suspect and a guilty verdict. What are you waiting for, Phoenix Wright? I want the woman removed from suspicion immediately. I want my conviction.
Drawing attention to Eutharion so Francisca would side with him. Just my luck. If I clear Ms. Porter, we're back to square one. The trial's over. I need to make sure they both get through this next testimony. You didn't see that. Didn't need to. It's basic logic, lad. The killer needs to be at both crime scenes. That's what the prosecution says. On my count, 3 people at the second murder, counting Rosencrantz. He's dead, so that leaves 2. 2 suspects you have. I'd choose wisely if I were you. We already know why she lied. It was to get the defendant arrested. That would be what she said, wouldn't you, if the reality was he killed a man? The woman wasn't just a witness. She's your killer. Perjury I can't argue with. But Jimmy, would Ms. Porter really kill him? No way on earth. I need to ask more about... Why do you suppose she would kill Mr. Jameson? How should I know? All I know is it happened. Besides, a motive might complete a case, but you can do just fine without one. That depends. Under the right circumstances, a lack of motive might be just what I need. I'll disprove just that. Miss Porter didn't have a motive to kill him. Placed by Walter Webb. I don't know if that works. There's him. Okay, not that. What do I got? I want to present the wiretap, but I doubt it's right. Oh, hey. I knew Jameson and was working with him. Porter was helping Mr. Jameson. She admitted he lured her there, but it certainly wasn't to kill him. You're just taking her word for it? You need some more proof than that. Tell me, can you truly show they were working together on anything? Jameson had Interpol set up a wiretap in the defendant's home. And how is Porter connected with that? She must be. I learned it from her.
Agent Webb requested permission to tap the phone line. If Gladys Porter knew about it, she must have been working with him.
Simply put, Mr. Hood, she wouldn't want him dead. Not when they had a common enemy. I'll concede, for the time being.
The witness's argument is weaker without a given motive. Let's continue.
Thank you, witness, for your help. Let it be known Gladys Porter had no motive. But there was one man who did. As the defense has said, Jameson helped track the suspect. He must have found out. What a perfect reason to kill someone.
I stuffed right into that.
Do you give up? Don't worry, I'll make it quick and painless. This will be over soon.
I forgot which one I have pressed already. We already know why Okay. There's no evidence proving she did it. I'll have to check with Madam Prosecutor. Remember, I was too busy treating me hand. Couldn't say if there was. He's still doing the whole ignorance act. There should be something pointing one way or the other. I don't see anything for now. I should keep looking elsewhere. This is a weak argument. We still have no proof beyond your word that she was with Mr. Black. For your last who proved there was a woman. Who am I to argue with the defense? If you want to accuse someone new, be my guest. I'll lose though. Give me a bit of credit, Mr. Wright. I'm a smart man. If I thought you could call me on a lie, why would I risk it? I'd only do it if there was some pressing matter. You know I can't confront you yet. I can't lose my head and jump in too far. But I still have enough to put him in his place from now. You don't know for sure who you saw. You even said yourself you didn't recognize either the man or the woman. Or Gellenstern? Shh. Even so, it seems to me the people at the Rosencrantz murder are all accounted for. Porter, your neighbor, and Rosencrantz himself. You're only 3 suspects, lad. There was a gap when Jameson was alone. Porter admitted this. This leaves an opening for a new person to... You might as well drag in Sasquatch to testify. If there were another person there, the prosecution would have found him already.
If there was evidence of a 4th person, we would not be having this conversation. We're down to the defendant and his accuser. Choose carefully, Phoenix Wright.
Surely there's an option C in here somewhere? This whole argument is still only touching on things we've discussed with him. If I'm going to trip him up, it has to be something he couldn't lie about. There's plenty of that. It's just a matter of what goes where. When did she have a chance to kill Mr. Jameson? Huh. Oh, you're rich. Weren't you the bloomin' witness? I'd say being at the crime scene is a damn good opportunity. Porter ran away for a few minutes to chase Mr. Yossarian. But does that leave any time before or after? What should I do? I don't see anything for now. I should keep looking elsewhere. Alright, I'm gonna save and present his daughter again. That did not work. Oh well. Alright, well, it's probably one of these again. Alright, the timeline was just... evidence. Dang it. That was the wrong option. Evidence. Object. I'll disprove just that. This evidence shows she's not the killer. Ah, right, the shovel doesn't have any fingerprints on her. This shovel is the murder weapon, but it proves Ms. Porter didn't kill Mr. Jameson. Aye, and how's that? There's one important thing to realize about it. The shovel was used to kill both victims. These men died a month apart. Witness, whose shovel is this? Looks to me my neighbor's. I borrowed it on occasion. Yes, it's not Ms. Porter's, and that's the point. You'd have to be an idiot to kill somebody and hide the murder weapon in another person's house. Maybe once if you're desperate, but twice? Not in your life. It would have been discovered long before she could use it again. Ugh, the same weapon?
Doesn't sound like Ms. Porter could reasonably use it twice. The shovel would have been found, so she wouldn't have used it.
Porter's prints are not on the shovel, but guess whose are?
Back to this.
It would not be amiss for the suspect to hide it in his own home. His shovel, coated in blood and lying in his basement. How could he not be responsible?
Okay, think. How can I get out of this? She's right. It was stashed in the cellar. Something's odd about that. What did we just discuss with the witness? If my client knew it was used on Mr. Black, he wouldn't just keep it lying around. It was already a murder weapon.
How should I know why she kept it?
You don't have an answer? Well, neither do I, because it doesn't make sense. What killer keeps a weapon with his prints in plain sight for over a month? No one, because that would be stupid. He didn't know Black had been killed with it.
Nice try, but his prints prove he killed Jameson. We don't need to know why he was foolish enough not to dispose of the shovel.
Fingerprints on top of the bloodstains. I remember that. I must side with the prosecution again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I was onto something. I just know it. You used to be a lawyer, Mr. Hood. Here's a pop quiz for you. What are the 3 things you can use to convict a suspect? That would be motive, opportunity, and evidence. Seems you still remember some. But here's something you've apparently forgotten. Are you familiar with the phrase, beyond a reasonable doubt? Rings a bell. It usually applies to a person's guilt, but I think now fits just as well. There's only so far you can stretch your story before it stops being credible. Fine, shall we get it over with? Do you admit defeat? Aye, I'll do that. I've had enough. She didn't kill Rosencrantz. And by extension, nor Guildenstern.
That's it! If Gladys Porter is not the murderer, we have no choice but to give that guilty sentence. You two played your parts very well. Everything has been wrapped up perfectly.
We agreed there could only be 2 suspects.
No, there was only one to begin with.
I've delivered Miss the Assyrian right to her. We're back to 1 suspect. Is that still true? Not after today, it isn't. Stop! It's not time for the verdict yet.
Will you cut it out? Whatever possessed you to go this far?
He's no longer the only suspect. Have you forgotten everything we just spoke about? There's still one more person who might be the culprit. Mr. Hood's daughter, Jane. Shut your trap! Me lass couldn't have... Silence, both of you! How dare you do this? You will not muddy the case any further. Both murders are connected. I thought we agreed on that. Jane has no alibi for the Black murder. The witness saw a woman and tried to cover for her by throwing suspicion on Ms. Porter. I don't know if the 2 deaths are connected or not, but I do know this. Jane also had an opportunity to kill Mr. Jameson. What do I present here? Mr. Hood, you're lying. Ah, am I? Yes. Am I? Yes. I mean, maybe. Oh, right, because everyone left. Both Ms. Porter and my client left the crime scene together. They were missing for several minutes while Jimmy was alone. Ms. Porter claims he was dead when she came back. The defendant was nowhere to be seen. Where were Jane and Mr. Hood during that time?
The witness said she was in his house with him.
You still trust him? This lying, perjuring man who deliberately misled you?
It doesn't mean she killed him.
No, but it does throw that tiny sliver of doubt that I need. Beyond a reasonable doubt, Francisca. Can you prove somebody else didn't kill him while the other 2 were chasing each other?
But fool! I don't have to. He is guilty of sin and you just can't see it. The jurist will decide his fate, Your Honor, now.
Now? Does the prosecution rest?
We've covered everything there is. If the defense is so cocky, let's see how this ends.
Uh-oh. Maybe I pushed her too far. I have no idea who the jury would side with at this point.
Perhaps it is time then. Now, without any further ado... I guess I should be used to last-minute objections by now. Well, who was it?
It was me. I got your message.
Ah, yes. Did you locate Ms. Porter?
Yes.
Has she been made aware that she was accused?
No. Gladys is dead. What? Dead? I had to look all over for her when she didn't respond to my calls. She wasn't home or anywhere. I decided to check the office one last time, and it was locked. But then I got a whiff of something behind the door. It smelled like blood.
When was this?
The record for her electronic door lock puts the last entry at 3:21 p.m. yesterday. 3:20. But that's before.
She was dead before we even went to the office. She couldn't answer us because... When did you last speak with her?
It was in the detention center. She told us she'd been looking into some murder case with Jameson. I think she must have known too much.
She confessed to working with him during the trial. Was that it?
Franziska, you have a dead state's witness on your hands. You know it has to tie in somehow.
A dead witness? It almost has to be connected. That's how it seems to me at first glance, at least.
Tell me that this isn't enough doubt, even for you. Extend the trial. Search Gladys Porter's office. Find out why she was killed. But if nothing is found, I want a guilty verdict first thing tomorrow morning.
Court will adjourn.
I knew something bad would happen. I tried telling her not to leave. I did try. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Will these bodies never stop piling up? Miss Porter, Jimmy, Mr. Black, and Agent Webb. Is it too late for me too? I have a better chance of unraveling this than anybody else at this point. Whoever killed Ms. Porter did it for her connection to Jimmy. So many things have happened these past few months. Sir Galante, Mr. Webb's death, and Cody's, Karain, and now this. I have this terrible feeling they're all related. Who is behind it all? Well, I guess I'll cut it here.